All right, okay, we're live. We're recording live now. I'll let Andy welcome Chris.
Hello, Chris. Welcome. He can't hear us. He can hear us, and he can see us, but he can't speak.
Right, and we can't. Well, we can see a picture of him at the bottom of the screen, so we know that he's here.
Hi,
That's
Chris.
Good. Yeah. Leigh, do you want to introduce it because the two of your mates here?
Yeah, well, good evening, everybody, or good day, or good morning, wherever you are in the world watching this. Nice to see these guys on this Karatbars hangout today. This is part of our team, which is growing fast and doing real well, which is excellent. Andy here is my direct referral, and Chris, who's on the call as well, but we can't see him, he's hiding somewhere, is Andy's referral. So that's how this balance, and I'm Imti's referral. So we've got kind of three levels here at the moment, three levels on the call, which is pretty good. And that's where we stand at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, but before we start, just so that, I mean, obviously Leigh and I have had a chat about this hangout meeting, the purpose of this meeting. Andy, do you have any questions before we start about what you're expecting to get?
I'm hoping to learn something about the Karatbars marketing system.
Okay.
Are you in that?
Yes, in a form, yes, I am in it, and we'll go through that interesting question. Okay, I've got some slides. So can I just share my screen, guys, so that we can get started? So go for it. It's nice to have I guess a track to run on in some way. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Andy, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Right, let me just. Right, okay. So, give me a second. Right, okay. So this is what we're doing today, discussing, sharing some ideas, okay? So, what we wanted to talk about was recruiting the right people. I mean, recruiting perhaps is the wrong word. We're sharing a business idea. Do you agree, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, excuse me, MT, your screen is not...
oh, right. Okay, sorry.
We can't see the screen. Yeah, just let you know before you start.
Okay, hold on. All kinds of technical glitches going on here, you know.
Yep, okay, we can see it now.
Can you see it now?
Technology. Yes, now, yeah.
Yeah, Andy, can you see this slide?
Yeah, the big columns.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. So we just run through this. So we'll talk about building the business. We'll talk about the kind of people that we want to approach. I also want to talk about the 12-week plan, which we've all heard about from lots of webinars. I'm sure Leigh will agree. Yeah. And I think Leigh and I have some views about that. Having a plan, what we are going to do, acting on it, and then also, most importantly, I guess, being ethical and being transparent with the people we deal with. I think that's a fairly obvious one, but
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, pardon me if I'm going through some elementary stuff here. I'm not trying to teach anyone to suck eggs here. But I thought it would be nice for all of us, to revisit some of these basic fundamental business rules. Thinking like a business, operating like a business, and of course, getting the right tools and investing in your own business. I always believe in that. Andy, I don't know what you do. I mean, do you run your own business?
Yeah, self-employed courier. Same-day delivery service. If it's in the van, I'll deliver it.
Right, okay. But it's your own business, Andy, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, get out there, see your customers, deliver the goods, you're not going to make any money, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. And I think we're all in business. What about Chris? Is Chris in business or is he?
Chris is the same.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we're all in the same boat. Just for the benefit of you guys, Leigh obviously knows me. I'm in the financial services business. I have my own firm, um, and I've really been in business for the last 25 years. In the UK, and I've got big clients abroad as well. Just so that you guys know. Okay, people. Let's talk about it. This is a very important point. In fact, at this point, I'd like to ask Leigh to share an experience we had when we had our seminar recently. Leigh, do you want to jump in there?
Yes, the one in London, which we held at your office.
Yeah.
Yes, well, that was we invited a bunch of people along. Some of them were already in this business with us, others weren't. I think we had a few people from the BBC who came along, etc. And I think they were quite impressed when they saw the business. Not only were they impressed with the whole structure of the business and what it entails, but it's good that we all help each other, because starting off in a new business, sometimes it's a real struggle. You don't know where to turn, you don't know how to start. And because we can all benefit from the benefits of other people joining, it's good to help each other. So I think they were quite impressed with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Has my screen disappeared again?
No, we can still see that.
We'll see it. Good. Okay. Good point, Leigh. Hang on. I've lost my slide. Here it is. So some of the meetings I've had, either on a one-on-one basis or with a group of people, you'll get somebody who might ask, if you like, the wrong questions. They generally tend to have a negative or a cynical, sort of mindset. And I don't think it's our job really to try and change people's minds, because you end up getting nowhere. I think you've got to choose the right people, because remember, the whole idea of this is, I think I'll talk about it a bit more as we go along. There's two opportunities here, really. There's an opportunity for you as an individual to create a bit of wealth, real wealth, by buying gold. We all know that. But the second part of it, of course, is by sharing this idea with other people, you get to build a business with real residual income. Okay? And that's very powerful. And if you think about it carefully, first of all, you've got to be convinced yourself that you're willing to put the effort in, you're willing to put the work in, and understand what you need to do to build a business, i.e., people. This business is about people. Sharing this idea with other people have a similar mindset to you. They see the value in acquiring gold, particularly in small quantity for the ordinary person. And you share that idea with other people, other like-minded people, and then what you are generating is movement of money, and that movement of money then generates income for all of the participants. Okay, do you agree with that, Leigh and Andy? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is that the people that you choose, you've got to be very, very careful. In a way, think about it this way. When you're talking to somebody about Karatbars, always have in the back of your mind, and I do this in my normal financial services business all the time. I didn't used to, and since I've adopted this new method, if you like, it's become very powerful. It's very profitable as well, because what it does do is it avoids you spending time with the wrong people. Remember, when I say avoiding spending time with the wrong people, I'm talking about from a business standpoint now. We're talking about a business idea. You might be, for example, talking to somebody who's got a completely negative view of this type of business, in which case you've got to ask yourself a very simple question. do I agree to disagree with this person and move on to the next? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's pointless wasting time. It's pointless trying to convince them. You know, you've got to respect the fact that, you know, they are as much entitled to their opinion as you are. So you just respectfully agree. Look, obviously this is not something for you. That's fine, no problem. I just wanted to share it with you, and then you just move on. And I think that's the best policy, really. Otherwise, you end up spending so much time and effort, you know, pushing in a direction where you're getting nothing back at all, and it's just a total waste of time. And time, of course, is money, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You see that time and time again. You know, some people don't grasp the opportunity at the beginning and want to learn more. Others just seem to be, I shouldn't say wasting their time, but you know, it's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think the approach, you know, how you approach people and how you introduce Karatbars is vital. You know, a lot of the people and a lot of the webinars that I've seen, you know, they go straight into the 12-week plan, and nothing wrong with that. It's a perfectly credible plan in theory, but in practice, you know, we'll cover that in a moment or so.
Yeah.
So the approach, you know, I speak from experience because I've been in the face-to-face people's business, as Leigh knows. He knows what I do. My personal view is the face-to-face approach is best. I don't know. Do you have any views on that?
Well, personally, I think so too. I mean, it's nice to reach out to a lot of people, but you know, you can throw your link out on Facebook or so, and nothing will happen. You know. With the right marketing, of course, you know, it can benefit. But I always find out with other businesses I've been in prior to this one, when I actually go to an event, and I'm going to an event this Saturday in London, a rival kind of event, but I'm going there purely for one reason, because it's going to be a room full of 500 people with like-minded ability that they want to make money this way, and I can approach them with my idea too. So halfway there to start with. And going back a few years, I don't know how long it is now, Andy, 3 or 4 years. I was at an event at Heathrow, and so was Andy and Chris, and that's how I met these guys. And they joined under, you know, something else we were in together. And Andy and Chris, they both followed me since then. So when you create a rapport, when you create a relationship with people, you know, it's a lot easier then for them to jump in. They kind of trust you. They hope that you're doing the right thing, and that's what you want to do. Because the last thing you want to do is lead people into the wrong thing, because, you know, they're not going to trust you again. And we can't always be right in everything. I was just going to say, we can't always be right in everything we choose, but we're trying to do due diligence, and if it's a good business, then we want to get into it. And it's nice to bring the guys in, they follow us, and we have
I think
them too. So I think it's a great thing.
I think this is why I mentioned in my earlier...
It works, that's what I'm saying,
you know, to be you know, to be honest and transparent, really. Very important that they don't get the wrong idea. You know, they know exactly what it is. I mean, I believe it's a fantastic business. There is a product at the end of it, and the product is gold. You know, and that'll increase in value and what have you. So I think the face-to-face approach is the best approach. Leigh, you mentioned all these marketing ideas, Facebook, Twitter. All that does is it'll arouse some interest. You know, people might think, oh, that sounds interesting. I wonder what it's all about. So, and then you filter those, you know, those leads, if you like, and then work it to a plan, which we'll talk about in a minute. And when you're on a face-to-face situation with somebody sharing, you know, get the Karatbars opportunity, I think it's important to remember that I know you're trying to sell is perhaps the wrong word, but you're trying to share with them the facts about Karatbars, you know, the opportunity and how it works. But also bear in mind, whilst you're talking to a person, that you're also interviewing them. Okay, so I think it's important to ask them a series of questions. For example, what I would do, even before, when I speak to somebody about Karatbars, the first thing I do is, look, I have a business opportunity that I'm involved in, which is potentially very profitable. But before I tell you about it, I don't want to waste your time, but before I tell you about it, can I ask you a few questions about how you feel about business and working for yourself? Yeah, I go through this process automatically. How do you feel about working for yourself? How do you feel about dealing with other people? How do you feel about speaking to people and sharing with other people a business idea that you're involved in? Can you see the importance of asking these questions?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that gives me a feel for the kind of person he or she is. Depending on I mean, they might turn around and say, well, actually, I like the idea, but I'm not the kind of I don't like talking to other people. Right? What do you do then? You've hit a brick wall, haven't you?
Mm.
You know that this person will come on board, and it's not going to go any further than him or her. Is that the wrong person? I don't know. I mean, you've got to make your own because remember, the ultimate goal here is to build a team. Yeah, and you can only build that team if the people that you're bringing on below you are willing to do the same thing as you're doing. Agree?
Yeah.
Totally.
So
you can build a business if you can all make some kind of commitments to it.
Yeah, exactly. And you see, so the second point really is remember that you're interviewing them as well. So there's no harm in asking them those questions. Excuse me. You might think it's not important or relevant, but I think it is, very relevant, very important for you to get an idea of the kind of person. It might be somebody you know already. It might be your brother-in-law, a brother, a best friend. But even if you know them that well, you might not know, how they will fit into a sort of a business environment. So it's good to talk to them about things like that, and then get a feel for the kind of person that they are.
Yeah.
Anything you want to come back with on that, Andy or Leigh?
Yeah. Well, I've signed up a few people, and they've just stayed blue. They haven't done anything. So I know what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of these network marketing books, and it's all about the approach and the questions you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's an important thing you mentioned there. If you're talking to people who are willing but not able, if I can put it that way, willing in the sense that they're open to the idea, yeah, not able in the sense that they don't understand it well enough to know what to do. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a few people that got burnt from another program we were in, so they're
right. Okay. No, understand. Yeah. So I think there is a little bit of a process of educating them or re-educating them, if you like, as well. Talking to them about this particular opportunity and saying, but you can. I don't know whether you've been involved in any other program, Andy. Have you? Or
yeah, I've been under he has done.
Right.
But like you say, none of them were with a physical product that you actually have physically owned. So
right. Without jumping the gun, I mean, I know what Joe thinks, Leigh rather. Andy, can I ask you, what do you think about Karatbars so far?
Well, I can see a massive opportunity is there. Obviously, I've been in it a couple of months now, and I'm finding it very hard to get started. Still, I'm still getting started.
But you bought a package, haven't you? And you're buying the gold.
Yeah, I've got a gold package. I bought a silver package. So did Chris.
Yeah.
And within the first day, we realised how good this could be and upgraded to gold. But it's getting other people on board. They want to see you being successful before. That's locally. I mean, we're going to approach it in a slightly different way now with this Karatbars marketing system.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand perfectly where you're coming from, Andy, and I'm sure Chris is listening to this, and I'm sure he's in the same boat as you in that sense. And the whole idea of this meeting today, and hopefully we'll do a few more of these, Andy, going forward, is to try and help you guys, because remember, it benefits all of us, yeah, whether you're below or above us. It benefits all of us, and to share these ideas and think about, I think the most important thing is, okay, well, there's two things here. Firstly, finding the right people. Secondly, saying the right things in order to get them motivated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the third point on this slide, if you look at it, it should say are they, not are they. So sorry about that mistake there. Are they willing to start now? Which is a very important one. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is where I slightly differ from the typical 12-week program. I don't like to talk about get a free account, because I think that gives a wrong message to people. Yeah. Oh, I'll get a free account. I don't, it doesn't commit me to anything. But come on, who are we trying to fool here, right? Andy, can you imagine if you went out seeing new customers for your courier business? Is it couriers you're doing?
Yeah, courier, same day courier.
Yeah, your career business, and you said to your prospects, hello, Mr. Smith, this is what I do, these are my charges, but I'll tell you what, you can open an account with me, no obligations, you don't have to give me any business, just open an account and just come back to us whenever you want to. Are you going to get any business?
Probably not.
So you've got to create that sense of, look, are you willing to start? If they're not willing to start now, which could be a valid reason, it's either because they don't need the money, they don't need the business, okay? They're not interested in gold, and they don't see any reason for acting. Yeah, is that a fair assessment?
Or they could be, on the other hand, they could be financially stuck, so they can't afford to buy a package and get moving.
Or the other point that Andy made earlier, which is that they've been in another program, they've got their fingers burnt, they're not interested. Yeah, which is a valid point. But the only thing I would say to that is, Andy, if you've got customers, if one of your customers said to you tomorrow, Andy, look, thank you for the work you've done for us, but we're giving our account to one of your competitors. Andy, what will you do? Are you going to pack up your business?
No.
Right. You just move on, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're talking about, yeah? Right.
Yeah.
And of course, the next point is willing to share, and this is an obvious point. So, very important. Can we just, have I missed anything here on this, on this slide here? I think, just to summarize this section here, face-to-face is always important, finding the right people,
having a plan on what you're going to say to someone. I bottled it yesterday. I had fully intentions of this delivery I was doing, and I thought, right, I'm going to approach them, and I'm going to, tell them about Karatbars business.
Right.
I worked myself up so much before getting there.
Right.
When I got there, I bottled it, and I didn't say anything.
Okay. Right. Okay. When we finish these slides, Andy, I'm going to show you another set of slides. Yeah, that Leigh has seen. I think Leigh's got a copy of it anyway. And then, do you take a computer with you when you go to see somebody?
No, this was just it's a customer that I was delivering for a big TNT parcel company, and they're fairly regular, but they work out of Amazon. They got an Amazon business, but they work from home.
Right.
So they are business minded.
Right.
They're doing well.
Okay. Okay.
Husband and wife team, and I just wanted to approach them.
Right. Okay. Let me. I hear you loud and clear, and I've done this myself in the past. Let me make one thing very, very clear. Avoid the temptation, because we get very enthusiastic about a business that we're involved in, because we want to share it, we want to talk about it. But one tip I can share with you is avoid the temptation to go into a specific Karatbar presentation, yeah, before you've had the chance to do all the other things we talked about. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because there's a time and a place for it. So, Andy, I presume you have a smartphone?
Yeah.
Okay. I can send you, or I'm sure Leigh can send you um, a set of slides, basic set of slides that you can. What kind of phone is it? Is it an Apple phone or is it
Yeah.
a?
Yeah, iPhone 4S.
Right, brilliant. Okay, so you can have a set of slides in your iPhone, yeah, so that if you're in a situation where you want to talk about it, you can open these slides and keep it as a reference point for yourself,
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that will give you a track to run on. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a
and then
few
you can
times.
also show the slides to the person you're talking to while you're doing it.
Yeah.
See, that will be
There's
much
a few
more
times.
professional. Yeah. Also, it will make sure that you
You
don't
know,
miss any important points. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the end of it, you know that you haven't missed anything. You've covered everything.
yeah. If you had an iPad or something similar, then that would be pretty ideal actually, because you'd have it downloaded on there and you can just start the
Yeah, I'm not
presentation.
suggesting. Yeah, I'm not suggesting go out and spend a lot of money buying an iPad just
No,
specifically for that. If you've got one, fantastic. Use it.
that's not
But I think, yeah, a smartphone is adequate if you're talking to one or two people at a push. But then, if you were planning a meeting with somebody, a pre-arranged meeting, you can take your laptop with you, can't you, Andy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got a Kindle. I don't know how you put anything on that.
I'm sure Leigh will talk you through that. I'm sure you can, because it's effectively a tablet, isn't it? Kindle. You can do things
Yeah.
with it. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's move on.
Yep.
To the 12-week plan. Um, Now, do you talk about the 12-week plan when you're talking to somebody about the Karatbars business?
Well,
Briefly, but I say in an ideal world, in a perfect world, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it, if everybody did that? But
Yeah.
it's not that realistic.
Well, I have a theory, and I've actually tested this on two different people. I spoke to somebody just like the kind of webinars you see that Karatbar affiliates run, the 12-week plan, and I did another one, which was my own idea, which was talking about a business idea and how long and how quickly that business can become a realistic uh, money-generating business model depends entirely on your own efforts. And I think the second one is much better. The 12-week plan is very hyped, yeah,
yeah.
and nothing wrong with it. I think like Andy said, in an ideal world, if everyone did everything that plan talks about from day one, like clockwork. But the reality is, it doesn't work like that. People will say, well, actually, do you know what? I won't have any spare cash till the end of the month. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the end of the month could be 4 weeks away.
That's right.
So
Well, all I was going to say is that when I speak to people, and I do mention the 12-week plan, and I've said this to you before, Imti, I actually readdress it and say, look, if we create a 12-month plan, so people signing up 1 week and the next layer the next week, if it's month by month, which is more realistic, and they say after 12 weeks you can be at the lowest package, you can be earning something like 5,000, isn't it, a week, something?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you said to someone, look, 12 months from now you'll be earning that a week, I think they'd be, tripping over themselves, because it's a fantastic thing. I mean, to do it in 12 weeks is brilliant, but very few people do it, I think.
But what all of these webinars fail to tell you, and I know this from being in the business where, you've got to produce new business all the time, and this is much better because you only need to produce it once, and it replicates itself every month. That's the beauty of this business. I mean, if you think about it, in my business, I need to see and do business with X number of clients in a given year. In the following year, I've got to start again from scratch. It's the same with Andy's business. Am I right, Andy?
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. But this one,
Uh,
Hello.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not passive.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So I think the 12-week plan is good. You can talk about the 12-week plan as a model and say, look, this is what's possible. But if you were to take out the 12-week plan, because I don't know, I think people find it difficult to identify with the 12-week opportunity.
It seems too good to be true.
Yeah, exactly, and I think there's a real danger of turning people off.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of these American type,
Yeah.
you know. I think it's fine in America because they're the kind of they have the kind of mentality who go for that sort of thing, and I think the Brits are a lot more subdued and a lot more conservative. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly so. Yeah, possibly so. I mean, these kind of things were invented in the States, I guess. So
Yeah, exactly.
because it goes along. But
Yeah. So as I say here, it's all about giving people realistic expectations.
mhm.
Otherwise, what's going to happen in a few weeks' time, you're going to have these affiliates come back to you and say, "Oh, Andy, Leigh, you said that I can make so much in 12 weeks' time. Look, I haven't made anything. I've only made a few quid.
Yeah.
What was all that about? Can you see the point?
Yeah.
Can you see the problem? This is why it's good to be realistic, and then also at the same time say to them, look, it's possible for you to make as much money as you want, provided you're willing to put the work in, but you're only putting the work in once.
That's it. And then reaping the rewards of the residual income.
Yeah, and you've got to be committed, and you've got to be willing to help the people who are helping you, in turn from above.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah.
so,
And but the great thing is when it does the download, excuse me, the down line does start, then the infinity drops in because all these other people you've never met in your
yeah,
matrix,
yeah,
you start reaping the rewards from, which
yeah,
is great.
yeah, exactly.
A lot of these programs out there, not like this kind of thing, because this has got a real product which you can resell. That's one of the things I love about it,
Yeah,
because you're actually not spending your money so much. You're just changing paper money into gold money.
yeah,
You can
exactly.
sell. So,
Yeah. I always try to get that
yeah.
one.
Yeah. And then the great thing is some of these programs you can only get paid like from 2 levels down or 5 levels down. It goes and that's it, and it's all a bit of a
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. I don't want to offend any businesses or companies.
I put this slide up here, that you see in all of the Karatbars webinars. It says 12-week plan to financial freedom. Can you see this slide, by the way?
Yes, here we go.
And there is a disclaimer at the bottom, which is quite poignant, really. The income projections and action plan uses mathematical examples that are dependent on following the plan as described. Results can vary based on your activity and the activity of your team. Yeah, it's there. But how many people will see that and register that compared to what they see on top?
Yeah. Well, all good businesses have a disclaimer in it, which is good.
Yeah.
For a start.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make here is, the disclaimer is there. It's good that it's there. They can, but the point is, what message is being registered with people watching this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I know.
Anyway, so I think you've got to think a little bit more longer term when you're presenting this opportunity to other people. Yeah. Gold or income. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is, you could come across somebody who might say to you, Andy, Leigh, do you know what? I really like the idea of buying gold and acquiring gold. I want to buy gold, as much gold as I can afford to buy. I'm not interested in sponsoring anyone, not interested in talking to anyone. I just want to buy the gold. There is a place for them. You can sign them up as a customer if they wanted to, yeah?
Yeah.
And they can buy the gold, and you can benefit from it as well. Okay.
Well, it's a savings plan. It's a pension plan, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So so that works as well. But what we are focusing is on the income side. Yeah. So the gold is a bonus. We're buying the gold. If you go to your back office, it'll always tell you the value of the gold that you've already bought so far. You can sell it. You can exchange it. Fine. So I think thinking slightly longer term. more than 12 weeks is a good idea. Because if you think about it, the hidden message, the subliminal message that people tend to get from this 12-week idea that's being banded is, oh, I only want to do this for 12 weeks and then I can go and sit on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I right?
I know.
Yeah, that's the first impression. Then you get
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is the wrong impression. Yeah, completely the wrong impression, you see. In theory, we know it works, but in practice, it won't work because, you know,
yeah. You see the potential, but as soon as you get to week 3 and week 4 and you still haven't got anyone under you,
yeah,
and then it goes into week 5,
yeah,
and you know that you never catch up.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And I'm going to make.
Hello.
I think we've got some internet issues here. Can everyone hear us? Hear me still?
Can hear you, Imti, but Leigh broke up then and disappeared.
Oh, right, okay. Leigh, I think, is your internet all right, Leigh?
He's not got a live picture.
Yeah,
now.
I think I lost you then for a few seconds.
Yeah, I think your picture froze.
Did you hear what I have to say?
Sorry, do you want to repeat that? Do you want to repeat that, Leigh? I think he's gone again, Andy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll carry on. It's being recorded anyway. So, you know, thinking longer term is quite important, really. Right, okay. Now, you mentioned, Andy, just now, people are probably thinking, okay, I sign up, I buy my package. What do I do now? How do I get my people? Yes?
Hello? Yeah. I'm back, I think.
Good. So we're now just talking about having a plan, and this is probably the most important bit of what we're talking about tonight, really. Again, I want to use just an example about business. I know what I need to do on a daily basis, doing my normal business. Andy, you know what you've got to do in your business. You've got to stay in touch with your customers. You've got to make certain amount of deliveries, I presume, per week to hit your target. Yes.
Yeah.
This business, you should treat it as no different, really. So being sorry, I'll get my teeth in. Be goal orientated, very important. All right. So I would go as far as saying, sit down and perhaps think about it, and perhaps even write it down, even better. I know it sounds a bit tedious, but I think it's important, and to treat this as a proper business. Having the right tools. I mean, again, Andy, I suggest you speak to Leigh about, this marketing system, because you've signed up for the marketing system, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got it all. I've registered a name.
Which well done on doing that. Now the next thing is you've got to make sure that that's working for you.
Yes.
Make sure that every penny that you're spending is giving you the maximum return that you can get out of it. Okay, so the tools, we talked about that, record keeping, so that's an important, planning your week. Okay, this is an important one. Okay, if I was to say to you, well, look, you give yourself a plan that you want to try and recruit, let's say, remember, the system talks about 2 people, one on your left, one on your right. But that doesn't stop you from recruiting other people. Yeah, they can still be either on the left or on the right. And I won't go into those details. Leigh can talk to you about that, about how you actually do that on the back office. But if you said to yourself, right, do you know what? For the next 4 weeks, I'm going to focus on getting 10 people signed up, actually signed up. Yeah. Who are willing to get involved, be committed, and do what I'm doing. All right?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Even one a week would be great.
Yeah, but so you start with your 10 people, so write it down. So you're making yourself a commitment, a goal. I want to, okay, the next question is, how long is it going to take me to get these 10 people? Give yourself plenty of time. Let's say, well, I'm going to give myself 2 months, right? If you want to give yourself 2 months, and let's work, let's play the numbers game. Let's say that for every 5 people you speak to, only 1 person might turn out to be, because remember, you might speak to somebody who's willing from their perspective, but if you ask the right questions, going back to what I said earlier, you might decide, and you've got to be, I think, very meticulous about this, and say, hang on a minute, I don't think he's the right person, or she's the right person.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether you agree with me on this. I'm being very sort of...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? If they're not the right person, don't waste any time, you know, and just say, look, I don't think this is the right thing for you. That does 2 things, okay? Firstly, it shows them that you're serious about what you do. You're not going to just, you know, get into business with just anybody. Think about it. These are your business partners, yes? Right? Andy, if you were taking on a partner to work in your business,
yeah,
what questions would you ask? What would you want to know? I mean, it's
exactly. Can you drive? Yeah, you certainly have certain amount of standard questions that they'd have to pass first.
Exactly. So why not apply it here? This is a business. This is your business. You know. And the other thing is, we also make the mistake of, and I've done this, and I'll put my hands up first, where I think when I was busy earlier on, I know Leigh kept talking to me, and I kept saying to Leigh, you know, bad time of the year, I've got tax returns to do, I've got this assessment coming up, that's coming up, you know, and really the reality was, yes, I was going through a busy period. I did make a commitment. I said, look, let me get all that out of the way. End of February, beginning of March, I'll start refocusing on this business, which I did do, yeah, and I'm back on track now. So, you know, very important to plan your week and say to yourself, right, okay, I've got my normal business to run. Maybe I've got half a day on a Friday, half a day on a Tuesday that I can dedicate to this business. Put it in your diary, block the time out, and sit in your office at home or wherever, you know, and just say to somebody, if you're at home, let's say to the wife and children, look, I'm working, I don't want to be disturbed. And that's your time to sit there and do some real focusing on, you know, right, okay, I've got these names of people that I've earmarked. I'm going to now, what do you do first? You send them an email first, some kind of pre-approach, and then you call them and say, look, there is a business idea I want to discuss with you. Don't go into any details at that point. You know, if you're interested, what I'd like to do is make an appointment to see you, and then I'll tell you all about it. You know, and at that meeting, they've made the commitment to give you the time to listen to you, and that's when you do the, you know, the proper approach.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important to be goal orientated, have the right tools, record keeping, planning your week, and work in the numbers. Just understand that this is a numbers game like any other business. And look back at the end of the week. I always do that on a Friday night. I sit, only because I've learned from my mistakes. Before I shut my computer off for the weekend, I look Friday afternoon. I sit, what have I done this week? Have I done anything worthwhile? Has it generated any business for me? And then I say, right, okay, starting Monday, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. Yeah. So when Monday arrives, I've got a plan already.
No, definitely.
You know. So I think that's really the way to go. Acquiring gold, yeah, that's fine. Let's just have a look. I think any other questions, Andy? Leigh?
No, I think we've covered it all there, Imti.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do for Andy's benefit. Andy, you're still there? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Right, what I'm going to do, Leigh, if it's all right, I'm just going to quickly flash through very quickly those other slides that Andy might want to use with a prospect.
Go for it.
So let me just give me a second.
I've just designed some more door magnets. I
Door
showed you
magnet?
that door magnet, Leigh, didn't I?
Yeah, that's excellent. Andy's been getting door magnets for his cars and vans, rather, and things like that. So advertising in the business,
Oh, right, okay,
business cards.
right,
Yeah, business cards. Chris has done the same.
right, fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. Really proactive in it, which is the best way to be. You know, it's just great.
Of course, of course.
I've just designed a new one tonight before we did this hangout with a bit different. It's got a fantastic website.
Okay,
And I put it on my the magnet so they go to the marketing page.
right. Okay, can you see my screen and can you see what's on the screen?
I can see you. That's all I can see.
Yeah.
Right, okay, hold on. I think we have a problem. Right, let's just have a... let me just go to the share screen again. Right, can you see this? Yeah?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, the Times, Lehman.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, guys. I just need to... Right, let me just close this and this one as well, and I'm just going to reopen it. Just give me a second. Right, we have a problem here, so just give me a second. I'll let you and Leigh have a chat while I sort this out. Yeah, so we're not too quiet.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's good, Andy. You got those magnet things. Those are for the vans, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Got two. Chris has got two coming as well on his own design. We designed our own things.
All right.
And then with our website, you know, like Gold Bullion. Chris is goldbullionforall.com.
And I totally agree. Should be. But that's good.
And yeah, so all the time we're driving around, we're going to be advertising.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's the link on my name here is one to one of my capture pages to the marketing system. You know.
Right, guys, I've got the slides back up now. I just want to whiz past these quickly. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
What can you see, please?
Karatbars introduction in blue.
Right, global economy, yeah?
Yes.
All that. Okay, good. So, Andy, if you look at these slides, I just go through these slides. I'm basically telling people a story, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, look, everyone remembers the banking crisis, the queues outside Northern Rock. I'm sure you had them down in Cornwall as well, Andy.
Yeah. Remember, yeah, everybody wanted to draw their money out.
And then I go back to the US. It all started with these subprime mortgages, yeah. And of course, when they started to go wrong, there were lots of repossessions, that was really the beginning of the banking crisis. Usually, what happens is the money supply contracts, banks became insolvent. The bailout, we've all heard about the bank bailouts, yeah, by the taxpayers. Yep. Loss of confidence, recession, and job losses. We all know all about it. This is about the economic system that the Western world subscribed to. There's two really. but the one on the left is what we in the Western world, if you like, it's all about bailouts and printing money. They've been doing this for 100 years now. There are some exceptions, like the Austrians, but I won't go into too much detail. Here's a solution: print more money, QE, basically, right? Obviously, causes inflation. We've all experienced price rises and everything, wage freezes. I'm sure everyone's heard about these things. Governments always shift the blame, rich getting richer, squeeze on the middle class. We've seen something new on the high streets now, Wonga.
That's it.
Why are they so successful? It's quite shocking to me to think that ordinary people, ordinary families, are borrowing money at 1,000%.
I know, extortion.
To put food on the table. I mean, it's shocking. That shouldn't be happening in the 21st century.
No, it's terrible.
These are the things that we are expecting in the future as a result of government policy all around the world. Governments actually this time around, it's not just the banks in trouble, but countries. We've already seen it in Greece, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Currency depreciation, asset bubble, property market, stock market, it's an illusion, really. And what we want to do is preserve our purchasing power. Okay. Gold is real money, inflation proof. This is the history of gold. There's a bit there.
Yeah.
This tells you about who owns what.
We've lost the slides, Imti, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
Hold on, let me go back.
Imti.
Yeah.
We've lost the slides, by the way.
Right, okay. I'm going to try and get that back.
It's just yeah, okay, we got it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, do tell me if you lose the slide, because it's...
yeah, of course.
This is about gold. This is an interesting slide. The red line here is the value of the dollar. The blue line is the value of gold. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to work out what's happened.
Well, especially since '71, since you come off the gold standard.
Gold standard. But more interestingly, if you compare the price of gold with the price of oil, look what's happened. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it follows the same pattern.
Exactly. Why? Because they're both commodities.
That's right.
Acquiring gold, in years gone past, if you wanted to buy gold, you had to buy at least an ounce at a time, which is expensive. So Karatbars is the answer. We know all about that. So I won't go into too much detail. So you start introducing Karatbars. We talked about this already, so we can adjust that. A little bit about the company. What we're trying to encourage people to do. Movement of money, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you're asking people, are you willing to do these things in return for, a reasonable income? Okay. Action plan. Follow this plan, and then you can talk about the packages. Yeah, the silver package that we get.
There it is, the gold.
Yeah, the gold package. Yeah. The VIP package, if someone's interested in that. Accounts are free. I don't like this slide. MasterCard, how we get paid. That's quite powerful, I think. People identify with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Is this something that Karatbars is or do you have to be a VIP member to get these slides?
No. This is a collection of slides that I've put together, Andy, myself.
Yeah.
But this slide here, some of these slides are created by Karatbars that you as an affiliate have got access to. There's no copyright on these things, Is that your question? Sorry, Andy.
I've got. I think we might have lost him. I've got the slides too, the ones that Karatbars handout, so I can always forward them on to Andy.
Right. Okay.
Email them over.
But you've got a copy of these slides that I used as well, didn't you, Leigh?
Yes, you forwarded me some, yeah. Yeah.
Andy, are you there? His picture's still there. I think Chris is still here as well. Okay.
Probably frozen.
Hopefully he can still hear us. Anyway, so that's there. I'll get myself back on the camera. Right, here we are. Yeah, so I think hopefully we haven't talked about anything specific, but we've talked about the concept of what we need to do. I think Andy's back.
Yeah.
Are you back, Andy?
I'm back. I don't know if it's quite.
Oh, well, a few technical difficulties.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I think we'll just give it a couple of minutes to see whether Andy's back online. This will be recorded.
Yeah, I'm back.
Right? Can you hear me?
It'll pop up in a second.
Yeah.
Yep. Those slides are empty.
Yeah.
How can I get those slides then?
Leigh, speak to Leigh, and he will send you a copy.
I'll email you a copy of the slides.
Okay.
Andy, Leigh will email you a copy. Okay.
I'll send them to Chris as well.
Yeah. And when you get it, you can have a copy on your computer, and you can also have a copy on your phone. So you've got it with you at all times. All right.
What?
Okay.
Should I go down?
That doesn't sound very healthy, does it? You sound like you're in the North Pole, Andy.
Well, you're in Cornwall, mate. You're so far away.
We're not down a tin mine, are you?
Well, I'm in Cornwall.
Sounds like you've got a pasty in your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I remember.
How do?
Can you hear us?
Well.
Yeah, sorry, Leigh. How do I put it on the phone to show people as a slide, or would it be photo?
Yeah, it's quite easy to do if you have an iPhone. Leigh, I'm sure Leigh will talk you through it when you talk to him. Yeah. So
okay.
I'll tell you what to do. When Leigh emails you a copy of these slides, yeah. If you open the email on your phone, I presume you've got email set up on your phone, yeah. Andy?
Yeah.
Have we lost you, or are you still here? Okay, Leigh.
I'm here.
I think
I'm here. I'm here.
He's here.
Okay. And Leigh, do you want to explain that to Andy?
I'm still here.
Yeah, well, when you open it, you've got email on your phone, have you, Andy? You can always watch a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you open it up from there, and you can just download it.
And then save it to your phone, yeah. But you can talk him through it, can't you, Leigh?
Yeah, we can do. I can send them off.
Yeah. Okay, good. I think. Shall we wrap it up here? What do you reckon?
Can do. Yeah.
Well, we can stop the broadcast, and we can still carry on talking. So when I stop the broadcast, that will stop our recording. So I think we've covered everything we need to cover. The only thing that I'll say is we'll do a follow-up one, perhaps, where we're going into the specifics about marketing.
Yeah, I think about marketing. And then most people will be interested to find out how they can promote this better.
Yeah.
So best abilities.
Yeah. So let's do that on the next session. We'll decide when the best time is. Hopefully Andy and a few others will be able to join us. Where we will talk about the specifics of marketing, the actual specifics of the people.
Karatbars marketing system.
Yeah, and also that, we'll talk about the Karatbars marketing system. What I'll do is I'll actually log into the back office and go through some of the tools that you've got that you should be using as well. Okay?
Absolutely.
So we'll do that at the next session. I'm just going to stop the broadcast now. So I'd just like to say thank you to Andy and Chris. I know you can't hear us, but if you're still there, thank you for attending. And hopefully it was, you've learned a few things. So I'm just going to stop this here, guys.
Thanks, guys. Nice to
Until next
receive
time.
you.
But stay, stand by though, guys.